Throughout your life, you may have heard the same messages repeated again and again. You're too sensitive. You need to toughen up. Don't take everything so personally. Over time, those messages can shape the belief that something about you is flawed, that your emotional responses are a problem to be fixed. But here is the truth. Grounded in psychology and neuroscience, there is nothing wrong with you. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, but a biological trait found in roughly 15 to 20% of the population. In psychological literature, this is known as high sensory processing sensitivity, or HSP. But beyond the terminology, it means you experience the world with a level of depth and precision that most people simply do not access. If the average person takes in life at standard resolution, your brain operates closer to 8K. It registers subtle sensory cues, tone shifts, micro-expressions, background sounds, emotional atmospheres. What others filter out as noise, your brain identifies as meaningful data, and science shows that this difference isn't imagined. It originates from three distinct neurological characteristics. 1. You have a lower sensory filter. Neuroscientists call this low latent inhibition, a reduced tendency to block out irrelevant stimuli. Most brains conserve energy by ignoring the majority of what they see, hear, or feel. Yours does the opposite. It lets information in. This means you perceive nuances others overlook. But it also means your system reaches overload faster. Greater input requires greater energy. 2. You have a more active mirror neuron system. This is the network responsible for empathy. In highly sensitive individuals, it is significantly more reactive. You don't just understand how others feel. You simulate their emotions in your own body. That's why you can sense tension before anyone says a word. Why you detect sadness behind a smile. Why entering a room can feel like absorbing a dozen emotional currents at once. From a social perspective, this makes you an exceptional observer, collaborator, and connector. 3. You engage in deep cognitive processing. While others react quickly, your brain pauses and evaluates. You link present information with past memories, emotional context, and future implications. This isn't hesitation, it's strategic analysis. Research shows that highly sensitive individuals use more neural pathways related to reflection, prediction, and integration. You are processing more data in the same amount of time. So if sensitivity increases stress and overwhelm, why did evolution preserve it? Because humans have always needed people like you. In ancestral tribes, warriors were essential, but so were the individuals who noticed environmental shifts, detected interpersonal tensions, anticipated threats, and provided insight that impulsive decision-makers might miss. Your trait likely evolved as an early warning system for the group. You were not designed to compete with warriors. You were designed to balance them. Then the challenge is that modern society rewards warrior traits, fast responses, high stimulation, constant pressure. A world built for speed does not always accommodate a mind built for depth. So when you feel out of place, it is not evidence of inadequacy. It is evidence of a mismatch between your biology and the environment. A powerful metaphor from psychology describes this well. Most people are like dandelions, resilient, adaptable, capable of growing almost anywhere. Highly sensitive individuals are like orchids, not weaker, but more responsive to their surroundings. In the right conditions, orchids don't just survive. They flourish with extraordinary beauty. This idea is supported by the theory of differential sensitivity. Sensitive individuals struggle more in harsh environments but outperform others in supportive ones. Your sensitivity is not fragility. It is amplified responsiveness. What you need is not to harden yourself, but to design an environment that supports your biology. Clear boundaries, quiet spaces, emotionally safe relationships, recovery time after overstimulation. These are not luxuries, they are requirements for a nervous system that processes life at high resolution. And when someone says you're too sensitive, you can respond internally with a different truth. You are simply perceiving the world with more data, more nuance, and more depth than they are. You may be someone who speaks less, posts less, or prefers observation over visibility. But in psychology, silence is not emptiness. It can be a sign of emotional maturity of someone who values clarity over noise and authenticity over performance. You are not fading into the background. You are engaging with the world in a way that is intentional, perceptive, and deeply human. Sensitivity is not the opposite of strength. It is a different form of intelligence, one that the world needs now more than ever.